Hey, hello. Welcome back to Separator Firewall AWS Deployments Online Training. This is session number 4, and we are going to talk about some additional adjustments and network setup needed on the uh, AWS VPC and EC2. Let's go next one. Okay. One of the things that is needed for any separator instance using in AWS is to disable something that is called the source destination check. Mainly when you have the two Ethernet interfaces, the two network interfaces landed in two different subnets and in different subnets and the VPC. So in order to allow separator to control any traffic flow between the subnets on the same VPC, you will need to disable source destination check for your instance. So you have to go to the dashboard on the instance section, select the separator instance that you are trying to change the source destination check. Right click on the recently on the instance, and you're gonna have a pull down menu. There's one here, and you're gonna select the option that says networking. And when you select the networking section, you're gonna see the specific option that says source destination check. So a little screen is going to pop up, a little window, and you're going to be able to select yes, disable. If it is already disabled, you're going to see the option here saying yes, enable. Okay, so make sure that you are disabling, not enabling. Uh, that's one of the changes you need to do. I'll show you live how it works. Let me see where it is. If I go to my EC2, my instances dashboard. If I select engage separator, I go to networking, then change source destination check, click here, and you see I already have disabled this option. So the only alternative I have now is just enable back, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so next we're going to need the assignment of a public IP address. Um, if you remember, the Ethernet 0 in our instance is the one landing on the private subnet, and we are going to use Elastic's IP, which is a service from AWS, um, and it's going to be associated to the Ethernet 0 interface. And in reality, what is happening there is a nothing one-to-one between that public IP address and the internal private IP address on the public subnet. Okay, there are two ways to assign the public IP. One, if I mentioned that in one of the previous sessions, you can enable the assignment of a public IP when you're creating the instance, but that is going to be a dynamic IP address. So, but we need a static IP address. So that's the second way using the Elastic's IP. And you have an Elastic's IP pool. Every AWS account has the possibility to create a static, and you can allocate and demand for additional IP addresses. There are some limitations, and it will depend on the type of account that you have. Um, so uh, the process in order to assign the public IP address to the instance is first of all we need to identify on the interface Ethernet 0 what is the interface ID associated to that interface, because we are going to use this on the Elastic's IP section, to associate the public IP address to the physical interface, to the network interface. So um, you just need to click on the Ethernet 0 on the on the dashboard. I'm going to show you live for better understanding, and just copy this value here on the instance ID. And then we're going to go to the Elastic's IP section here, and then when you're going to select which IP address of your pool is the one that you want to assign to this instance, and then you are going to associate. You're going to select from this menu, the right-click menu, associate an address. Okay, I'll show you how it works. When you press associate the address, uh, uh, as you can see here on this menu, you can select instance or network interface. The reason why I'm using network interface is because if you select instance, uh, even you can pull down and choose the instance that we are talking about. uh, because it has two interfaces. It's going to ask you in which one of the interfaces there is more than one interface on that instance. So you need to know the instance ID. So we're going to go directly select network interface, copy here the network interface ID that you just copied before, and then pull down and select the IP address of that interface that is going to be associated to the public IP address. Okay, you can reassociate in case that you're using an IP address that is actually already assigned to another instance. You can reassociate to a new instance. So you just press the associate button, and that is going to create the NAT to one, the NAT one-to-one relationship. So if I go here, you see here, if I am in any instance, here I have the details of such instance. Let me just complete it here. I'm on this one here. And now if I select Internet 0 here, click, and I can just copy this here. Then if I go to Elastic's IP, I can select any of the IP addresses that I want. I can allocate a new address, for example, because I don't have any unused IP address. I can allocate a new one. I just did it. And now I can come to this IP address and associate network. I paste here the interface. Okay. And then I can select the IP address. Okay. And then I can just click associate, and the IP address, this public IP address, is going to be associated. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so that's all. That's all the adjustments needed on the networking side before starting to do the configuration for the separator. Uh, Remember that you can always send your questions to trainingquestions@ingate.com. We will be happy to respond to you quickly. So see you next session. Bye.